Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news of a very sharp fall in lending for housing in Australia. But first, in the US, core June consumer prices increased by the most in nearly 1.5 years in June, rising 2.1% and slightly above what markets were expecting. The rise was across a range of goods and services. Fast rising rents helped push up the services category by 2.8%. Only lower petrol prices kept the overall index unchanged. Real earnings, wages after inflation that is, are also edging up, confirming that the American labour market is tightening. Wall Street is unsure of what to make of this data, especially in the light of the Fed comments to Congress, which continue today. Chairman Powell has signalled that a rate cut is now likely, but the inflation and jobs data undermines that. The S&P 500 is flat today, although bond prices are retreating, that is, yields are rising. There is an anomaly to report, however. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up strongly and at record highs. That is because it's stuffed with drug companies, and the Trump administration has announced it won't be taking action on their pricing strategies. We should also note that there is now more than $4 trillion invested in exchange-traded funds. Across Asia, payment delays are lengthening as the trade war consequences bite. It is a liquidity test some companies won't survive. A big survey in the region by a trade credit insurer reports that the average payment delay is now out to 88 days and rising. Foreign direct investment in China also seems to be rising. It was up more than 7% to $70 billion in the first half of 2019, but in June alone, that rise was 8.5%. And France has said it will go ahead with a 3% digital services tax on revenues aimed at the US tech giants, who they claim paid little or no tax in the country. This is a tariff that the US administration doesn't like. In Australia, lending to households in May was an eye-watering 16% lower than the same month a year earlier, and that is a decade low. It brought a $3.6 billion drop in the May month from a year ago, and the drop to the year to May is a $22 billion lower. Lending to households for investment property was down 22% in the same period, and that involves a $10 billion drop May on May, and for the full year, a $23 billion drop. US Treasury 10-year yield is now sharply higher today at 2.12% after the rise in US core inflation. Gold is down $10 overnight to $1,405 an ounce. US oil prices are holding higher today. They're still just over $60.50 a barrel, and the Brent benchmark is still at $66.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is firmer again, now just on 66.6 US cents. On the cross rates, we're also marginally firmer at 95.6 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're at 59.2 euro cents. That puts the trade-weighted index up to just on 71.5. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.